Before we begin, I'm going to tell you the programs I use for this tutorial. It's Photoshop and After Effects. You can get those programs however you want, but I would recommend getting them from the Adobe.com page. And as for other items, I'll probably just link them in the description. Again, just my recommendation, but you do you. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to get the font for the game, because the programs are not going to have it already pre-installed, most probably. I would get it from thefont.com. The name for this font specifically is VCR OSD Mono. When you download it, it's going to give you a zip file. I've already downloaded it once before, but once you open the zip file, you're going to get a .ttf file, which you have to open and then install with administrative privileges. I won't do that because I've already installed it. Once you've gotten that font installed, you need some reference to go by to create this end screen or intro screen, really. So YouTube is usually fine for that. For me specifically, since someone requested it, I'll be making the Impostor intro screen. So you just have to search by keywords, and it should come up pretty quickly. So just go on any video and scroll past a lot of info until you finally get to the part you want. Now you want to take note of how long the sequence actually lasts. So it started at 10 and it ends at 13, so that's 3 seconds in total. Now that you've taken into account the duration of the sequence, you want to study some of the elements included in it. So we already have the font, which is again VCR OSD Mono, I think, and this is probably going to be the only element that you'll have to create. You can make it into whatever color you want. We're going to be using Photoshop for it. It's this blurred circle that goes out from the center. So again, we're going to create another tab. Reason being, that video is kind of long to download the sound effect from, so I'll just search it once again among sound effect Impostor. Those keywords usually work, and what do you know, there it is. Watched this before, but now you just want to download it. You can use whatever sites you want, but in the description I'll probably link a open source program I use, which does about the same effect. While doing this, make sure that you are putting these items in one folder. I mean mine in the desktop, it should be fine, but that will keep you organized when we get into some of the other programs. So now, at this stage, you want to open Photoshop, and give it a second. We're going to be creating the blurred circle that you see in the intro screen. So make a new file. I'd recommend 1080p since most screens are that size. And delete the existing background layer. So unlock that and just backspace? No backspace. Well, I guess just add a new one and then backspace. There you go. Because we want this image to be transparent. Before we start creating this blurred circle, you'll want to import the reference so you can get the exact colors. It's not a required step, but it's helpful. So placed embedded, go to your whatever the folder is and put in that reference. Once you got that reference in here, you'll want to go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Gradient, call it whatever you want. I'll call mine Circle, and you'll see this linear style be created, but then you want to change that to radial because we want a circle, and you'll want to double click this gradient up here, and that will bring you up to this part. You'll want to click on the square at the bottom left and then click color. From here you can pick different colors, so this is the part where this step would have been pretty helpful. So you just want to go off the color that's given to you, and it will change it to that. Make sure that it is on this present when you begin it, so it can switch to a transparent image slowly. So you'll just want to hit OK, 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 and just delete this this other one right there. And you'll be left with this gradient in the middle. You'll also want to do just a quick rasterization of the layer. That way you can like move it and stuff and do different transformations to it. I would probably just recommend to leave it as it is and just close the image a little bit closer into it, since you can already do these things in Adobe After Effects. If you really want to test to see how it looks in a dark image, you can go to Edit, Fill, and just fill it with the black color, and you'll see that it looks fine. So we just want to crop the image in a way, so I'll just use this crop tool real quick and just crop it into the proportions of this circle. Should work fine. I hope I'm not wrong. Alright, just put it at the center, whatever is the center. Hope that's right, and hit enter. And at that point, you'll want to export. Quick export as PNG should be fine, and put it in the same folder as the other files. I'll name this one circle. Congrats, you are done with the Photoshop step. You can save it if you want. I'm not really going to do that. I'll just skip it. But now you finally can open the Adobe After Effects. This one's going to be a little bit more intuitive. It's going to be more up to you on how you want the execution to be. But create a new project, new composition. HDTV should be fine. Works for me. Maybe not if you don't want it. I'll just call this stage. Now you'll want to import on this left side on the project panel. You'll want to go to File, and you'll just want to go to your save folder with all the items, and just import the circle and the imposter sound. First thing first, let's add the imposter sound in. That's pretty good. So they'll give you, note again, the elements are probably just going to be on here for the 3 seconds. This bar I'm moving here is to extend or shorten the videos. So now that you have the sound in, you can add some of the first elements into the project. Alright, so we're going to begin animating these elements. We're going to be switching between the reference and After Effects, so we can get an idea of how it's supposed to go. You can use these little angled brackets on your keyboard to go frame by frame. It doesn't have to be so exact though. So I'll probably start with the text, since that seems to be the easier part to do. It's just a simple fade in from the top with a little bit of movement, and looks like an in keyframe for it to slow down a little bit. Again, it's all up to you how you want it to look. But again, this font is already here. So we're just going to switch into the After Effects, create a new file. Oh, sorry, not new file, new layer, text, my bad. And now you can type whatever you want. I've already put the font in here before for the victory. Now, I don't have an exact idea on centering on this program. Wait, never mind, I'm just blind. There's an align panel right on the right side. Also, if you need to still change the font of the text, you just have to click on the character panel on the right side. I think right now I'm using the default workspace for 2020 Adobe After Effects. Alright, second step. Probably going to do a little bit of a resizing, so it was probably dumb for me to center it right now, but if it doesn't want to freak out, that would be... Alright, so if you get this cursor on the bottom left where it's not centered, you're probably going to have to work with this tool up here. It's called the anchor point tool, I believe. You'll just want to move that right into the center. Now you'll be able to resize correctly the text. I think about a little bit less would be fine. And then I can just center it on the align panel again. There we go. So, no, actually seems a little bit larger. This is just gonna have to go off what you perceive, really. Before continuing, remember to save. It's a very important step. Probably just put it in the folder where you were working from again. I'll just name it the Impostor intro screen. From top to bottom. So skip this image. And yeah, it's fading. So for this, I would probably just use the fade in effect. But before that, I'm probably going to start the move in. So let's say that it starts from a little bit higher. Maybe here. A little bit higher. And just enable this clock right here. And I'm just working off my key presses with the arrow keys, but I'll probably start it up here, and then you'll just want to move this in. I think it lasts about, let's see, yeah, it lasts the whole sequence basically. So actually, now that I saw the video a little bit more, I'll probably start it at a more bottom place and just end it at the 3-second mark where it should stop. So, and now, as you can see, I created a new keyframe, but now it will stop wherever I put it. Alright, so this fade in effect, I'm probably just going to use the fade in plus out millisecond one. So just add that to the text. It'll probably give me the options up here. It'll probably be a little bit quick because 500 milliseconds doesn't seem like a lot. Yep, it's already inside. So I'll give it 3,000 seconds. That seems almost about right. Maybe 3,100 will do the trick for it. I think that's about good for it. Now with that done, I also want to get the color for it, so I'm going to switch back to the project panel and import that reference I did not do before, because who knows why. So just put the reference right there. Doesn't really matter because it's getting deleted in the end. Grab that eyedropper, the dropper tool. So change the color. You get this eyedropper on the character panel, and you just copy the color of this, and you just delete it. It's gone. Don't need that anymore. So now it's starting to look a little bit more like that Impostor intro that we looked at before in the video. So, second step. Obviously, I'm going to do a little bit more repolishing later, but it's about right. So now you want to import that circle into the main project. So, obviously, the circle does not look anything like this yet. So, and this is what I was talking about, the transformation tools available to you. So all these squares here, they work in unison, and you get this effect, which is pretty good. So now you should be able to do it. So if we look back, I'm going to close this imposter text, and now to focus on the circle's transformation, I'm going to center it on the align panel. Should be center. You're going to realize how this circle moves. It's a little bit small. It's about the size of the Among Us guy. Doesn't have to be. You might want to put something bigger, but I'll make it about that size too, just so it's accurate. And align it again because I can't focus. But yeah, I think that's about right. I'm just going to put on the scale factor. I'll just turn on that clock, and I'll make a keyframe for its size specifically. Now going back to the video, you're probably going to notice that it is, I would say it starts slow at the start. It's slow at the start, and then when it extrudes, it slows down. Now keyframe for that, I'm not entirely sure, but I'd say about the 3 seconds, right? So, well, you know what? I was completely wrong. This thing is freaking fast. Probably just give it a second. You get probably the same effect. I'm gonna extend it just a little bit more so it goes past like the screen how it did in the video. So I'll just delete this keyframe from before and put this one in its place, 129, 118. So there you go. Probably, I don't know if I want to extend it now, but that's starting to look a little bit more like the Among Us video over here. Yeah, I think that gives it about the same effect. I think we could bring this text a little bit closer. It's a little bit far here on this video, but you're starting to get that similar effect over here. Go back a little bit. I'm going to try to put in keyframe on this Impostor text. If I can find it, here it is. I'll put it at the end. Just see if that fits it a little bit. I think that gives it a little bit more natural movement, but... And again, more retiming stuff. You can work on it on however long you want, but that is about the base of this whole thing. I'll be honest, I don't really like doing a fade out in After Effects. I would rather use Premiere, but I'm just going to do it for the sake of this. So let's probably put it at 3.15. Just make a quick fade effect starting here. So you'll just want to enable the opacity setting on each of these elements with a little clock arrow. And then at the end, so just a quick, I don't know, I'll give it on the 3.26, something about that. And then just put it to 0. And that should just make it disappear afterwards. Yep. And then just copy that for every other one. So I should just be able to do Control-C, go down here, and just paste it in here. There we go. It's done it again. It should be at 3.26. Oh, no. Wait. My bad. I need to put this line on the same spot. So it's added in here. And once again, the sound doesn't really need that. And now it's done it. Just so I don't just leave you with the export. To export on this program specifically, you just have to add it to the render queue. You're going to get all these settings down here. The settings I would recommend for this would be, this can remain the same, I believe, or can it? Quality best, blah blah blah. Yep, that's about good. Go into lossless settings. The format is different, it's QuickTime. And for the format options, I believe this is fine. It should be on animation to video codec and hit OK. Should make this .movie thing. I'm gonna go back to my desktop folder for the project, and I'll call it intro.mov. Among Us, intro.mov, Among Us, Impostor, intro.mov. There we go. So that should just be like that. And once those should become custom, and you should just hit at render with this slider right here, corresponding to this, the length of that audio. I'm actually going to move it a little bit more up, just so I can get the exact length of the audio. I think a little bit further, just to be safe that I'm getting all the elements in it. So just make sure that it is doing it as long as it's supposed to, and it restarts where it's supposed to. And then you can go into the render queue and hit render. And it will do the render real quick. It's going to play through the video. Should work though. You can see the time going by right here. Do a little jingle. And that's about it. As others say, do the sub, do the like, do the comment. All the information and stuff I use is going to be in the description. And as always, yeah. I don't really have anything else. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.